This episode of the Forward Compatible podcast has been presented by GamersGather.com. Hello and welcome once again to the Forward Compatible podcast. This is episode 115, part 1, for April 20th, 2014. My name is Tony. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Jason and Mossies. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
You're kind of mumbling over there.
I was trying to actually mouth your saying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The intro?
I don't know how well it came out.
I hope it came out very well.
I butchered a few spots.
It is Easter Sunday.
It is.
Tis why Mark is not here. Moss is filling in for him. Because we are a bunch of degenerates and have nothing better to do.
Yes, and we're also recording a little later than usual.
Yeah.
I had some family stuff to attend to earlier in the day.
And so did I. And technically you did too.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't have to go to church, though, right?
I went to my church.
I was
of
looking
Moss.
for the thank God.
The flea market.
All right. Yeah. Actually, before we hit the weekly roundtable, you have a Moss's Flea Market Adventure story for us
Yes.
this week, don't
This
we?
week on Moss's Flea Market Adventure.
Which is your first week back at the flea market
Yeah.
since you've been back, right?
No, it opened 3 weeks ago, March 30th.
Okay.
And I didn't buy anything, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because it was Easter, there was not that many vendors. The video game vendors were not there.
At all?
These two guys, these bastards, they buy up everything that people have that's anything worth a while. But video game wise, there's not much. I bought an NES with no wires for $15. That's it. I was this close to buying an Atari 2600. The guy had that and like 8 games for $30.
It's actually a pretty good deal if it worked.
Yeah, those are very. I hear that a lot of them don't work. Like, and I'm NES and onward.
Yeah.
I don't know anything before.
No, they go when they run. They go from anywhere I want to say to about $50 to $80 if they
Okay.
work. There's a lot of them out there. The problem is probably 60% of them have
Some
issues or don't work at all. Like
Yeah.
they might have a power cable issue, and that stuff's getting harder and harder to find. Even something as simple as the way that it connects to the television, because they used to use those like UHF converters,
Those
the
like
little
pin things?
the little slide thing that went in through the actual old school antennas.
Yeah.
The antennas, I don't know, like a lot of our viewers are younger. They used to be this like flat brown wire with like VHF running on one side and UHF running on the other.
Two
And you
little
just have,
prongs
yeah,
that you have to
and you have to
screw
like
into it.
screw them in with like and then you just plug it in the back of the TV. It was like really archaic, and at the time that's what was new and hot, so that's how it connected to your television. So even that stuff's becoming rarer and rarer and harder to find that actually works. So if it was a complete unit, that was
Yeah.
a good deal.
You could have bought it, and even if it didn't work, you could have taken wiring class at Galloping Ghost.
Yes.
And you could have rewired it yourself.
There was actually a few vendors that had 2600s. One guy had like 4 of them, but just the console for $20. And then another guy had a console with the rack and like 8 games for $30. I was tempted, but I don't have any Atari stuff, so I didn't want to just start here. Actually, I take it back. I have a few games that came in a lot, but anyway, didn't get it. Bought an NES for $15 with no wires. A decent deal. I have a bunch of extras. I'll put it together eventually and sell it in a lot. I did find something that intrigued me that was nothing to do with video games, and it's sort of political,
All right,
but it was really weird.
right up my alley, sir.
Yeah. So it's a picture of Mount Rushmore, and above it, there was a picture of 4 Native Americans.
Okay.
And it says, "The original founding fathers, fighting terrorism since 1492.
I love that.
My God, I was like, I did not know what to think of that. Your thoughts, Tony?
Well, that's an interesting concept. I mean, there's definitely like the American patriotism over here is like very forgetful, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the victors tend to write history books. So you don't really hear about the other side, like even something as recent as like World War II and Nazi Germany. A lot of the actual info from their side of what happened is lost. So, I'm not trying to stand up for Hitler or anything. The guy was a monster, but he's made to look even worse than he really was because, the Allies tend to write what happened, and the Axis doesn't really get a say because...
Well, even that, with that, like, the United States wrote that history, not really
Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
Look, anybody who's taken American history in high schools has been misled. America didn't beat the Nazis. The Soviet Union beat the Nazis. We just helped at the very end.
Yeah.
And nobody knows that.
And we took care of some of the Axis's
We beat Japan.
side countries.
We beat Japan.
Yeah.
Damn
So,
you, Japs.
Yeah. So I mean, and when you're going as far as back as when, they went to 1492 when Columbus came over.
Yeah, I know. It was
Uh,
it was so edgy. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
wow, I want that shirt, but I don't know if I'd wear it.
Yeah.
That's like. But anyway, I don't want to go too far.
I mean, there's the same thing. Like, if you look at just some of the taxation, I mean, like, this whole country was founded on not wanting to pay taxation without representation over it in Parliament, and now we're taxed like through our asses.
Well, I thought you were going to say how we were like not they were not being representative in our government, the natives.
Yeah, it's true. That's also true.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
very very true. I wasn't even thinking that way, but yeah.
Damn
So-
hypocrites.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah. So George Washington, he's a bad guy.
It's actually my
I've
favorite
seen-
president of all time.
I've seen similar shirts where it was a series of Native Americans lined up with guns, and it says the original Homeland Security,
Oh,
things like that. So
okay.
That's a very false thing, though, because the Native Americans actually didn't have any guns. The ones they did acquire were from the Europeans that came over here. They
Yeah.
were trying to steal our land after they killed them with their bows and arrows and axes and whatnot. They ended up picking them up, but they didn't have ammunition, or that's why we kind of ran through them.
Yeah.
So far behind technologically, it wasn't very hard.
Well, we stole their gold and gave them whiskey, booze, and guns, and then killed them eventually.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think it's time for our weekly roundtable.
Where we catch everybody up on what we've been playing since the last time we all spoke.
I'm deeply offended.
Why?
Because I'm Native American.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh,
I
sweet.
didn't know that. I learned that.
Yeah.
Rock on, sir.
Anyways,
Well, you kind of got to be happy about it, though, because you're not pure Native American, so you would have never existed had we not come over here
No.
as Europeans.
Yeah.
So I played. We were at the Galloping Ghost on Friday again.
somebody finally made it out.
Mm.
I believe I won the 8-man tournament in Mortal Kombat
4.
4, which I
Yes.
had barely played before,
Yes.
but I still crushed. And I should have won the WrestleMania the arcade game tournament, but I accidentally did not pick Yokozuna in the championship round, and I didn't know the buttons for Razor Ramon. It
And
was
then we went to one of the Samurai Showdowns.
Samurai Showdown.
Whichever one it was.
4.
And Moss picked this guy named Andrew.
7. I think it was 7.
Anyways, Moss picked this guy Andrew, and it would not let you repick. So I continued to play as him, and ended up being Moss with his own character,
Yes.
and won the Samurai Showdown championship.
That's how I got stuck with Purple Dude, because you guys were like, oh, you guys must have pressed the button. Yeah, you
I don't know.
fuckers.
Yeah.
They were blaming it on me. I told them I didn't pick shit yet.
Then we went into a sudden death triple threat match on Grid, where it was myself, you,
Yeah.
and Steve.
You got off to a 5-0 lead
5-0 lead.
in like 10 seconds.
Yes, I was dominating.
Yeah.
Dominating. There's video of it, which I'm waiting for Mark
Oh,
to
really?
send
Oh
me.
god.
Um,
My performance.
It's phone footage, so.
My performance was not something to be proud of.
um,
I rallied at the end, but it was a little...
Steve and I tied 8 apiece. Technically, I won because I picked up more money, but we were basing it off of kills. So then we moved on to one of Galloping Ghost's newest cabinets, which is Killer Instinct 2013,
Yes.
where it came down to literally a pixel
Yeah.
of health, and I clinched the victory from the jaws of defeat
Mm.
and killed Steve, and I won 2 one-day passes to Galloping Ghost, which I told you I was going to get my 10%. Steve won a Galloping Ghost T-shirt. Moss didn't get anything.
I don't need no. I'm
Yeah.
a lifetime member at the Galloping Ghost Arcade.
And why is that?
Because what I mentioned last week, our mini marathon at Zelda Dungeon, we raised $2,500. I matched that, and we donated $5,000 to the Galloping Ghost Arcade. And now I am a lifetime member, and we have other special things that we cannot say.
The
yet.
video is the video interview is available on Zelda Dungeon's YouTube page. The photos from Galloping Ghost are on our group event on Gamers Gathers page, which I've reposted. I also threw the video up in there because that's part of our, the whole event that we did. So, but yeah, it was a good time had by all.
I played some Twin Cobra as well.
Yes, and you got so close
To what?
to beating your high score.
Oh no, that was not. That was my daily. That
Yeah,
day's
that's what I'm
high
saying.
score, But it's an old, like scrolling, like plane shooter. I don't really know how to describe that genre.
Yeah.
And I've been playing it for a few months now, and yeah, that game is so broken at the. It's like the loudest game at the arcade.
And
They
then
have the
while
volume
you're
jacked out.
playing, the sound card it's so loud that the sound
I was
card
watching it
shorts
for like
out.
10 minutes. It was crazy.
You can know somebody's playing that game from an aisle
Yeah.
over.
And I went to Nickel City.
Yeah, we went to
last night.
Yeah, sad place.
I believe I clutched the final victory on the Master Prize.
Oh, the ball drop game.
Yes, the ball drop game. And
So
won
finally,
500
Jason's balls
yeah.
have dropped.
Yes, and I won 500. I won the jackpot on it. It's 508 or 80, something like that.
Something like that.
Tickets.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
They just
So what'd you
kept
trade him in for? Like a lollipop?
Well, altogether we had a combined total of over 1,200 tickets. So we each got a piece of candy.
We got
that
2
chose.
Starburst,
2-star
Full
burst
packages.
full packages, and a
some
Skittles.
and some Skittles.
I got some foam nunchucks, and then Moss got a mint,
Yes, yeah.
and I got a Twizzler.
So all in all, you guys settled for $2 worth of candy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I crushed him in basketball. I crushed him in skee ball. No, you beat me in skee ball.
Yeah, I dominated
Oh
you in
my
skee
god.
ball.
My god. He
Embarrassing.
rolls the first one, gets the 500. Oh my god.
5,000.
Well, okay, this is the 1,000 one. You know, the top
The
one.
center, yeah.
Then he rolls the second one, gets the corner, gets the 10,000. Rolls the third one, gets another 10,000. Like I've never seen that before. It was ridiculous.
Then I bombed, like the next 3, and then the final one I got another 5,000. So
Nice.
You
Yeah.
crushed me. In
And
skee ball.
I am the Tokyo Drift champion.
Yes, he's the Tokyo Drift champion.
Yes.
I think you won Mario Kart as well.
No, you did.
No.
You did.
By like 3 seconds.
Yeah. So.
And I crushed him in air hockey though.
Yeah.
Almost.
It wasn't
almost
a-
flawless victory.
It wasn't a clean sweep. It was 7-1.
It was
Nice.
6-0, and then he scored.
Yes.
And then, but yeah.
Just like my boys here.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing?
As for myself, I also went to Galloping Ghost with these fine gentlemen. Played in some of these tournaments. I didn't fare very well. The one that upset me the most was WrestleMania because me and Andy, because Andy knocked me out of the tournament in almost, I think all 3 games. But me and Andy were playing. We were playing WrestleMania before the tournament, and I beat him.
Like, was the pressure? The
Whole
pressure
handily.
of being in the tournament?
And yeah, no, it wasn't the pressure. I didn't give a shit, but it was. I don't know. He ended up beating me that time. I'm like, oh, I got this, because it was like one of the final, like the later games, and he knocked me out of Mortal Kombat earlier. And I'm like, all right, it's revenge fucking time. I'm gonna stomp this bitch. And then
And who were you? Who did you pick?
Bret Hart.
Okay.
He wasn't my guy. My guy was Taker, but
Yeah.
Taker had just wrestled before, and people were like, "Oh, take Razor." Nobody took Razor. Fucking.
Did you play anything else when you were there?
Huh? What else? I played a ton of games over there. I played 1943 and 42. This guy's got the Galloping Ghost record. I didn't get close. You're like million something.
1942, I think it's 1.5 million.
Yeah, I got like 130,000 or something. It was fucking terrible, and that was after a few tries when I was starting to get a little bit better at the game.
If I die anywhere before 400,000, I just give up and just restart.
Yeah.
Makes you feel better.
Yeah, no, not even a little bit. I did get the high score for the day. I beat whoever had it was like 60-something thousand. I fucking smashed them. What else did I play over there? I play a few other arcade games, but at home, one thing that I'll get to later because it's one of the news stories, so I'll talk about it then. But
You also had Chick-fil-A for the first time this week.
oh, that's right.
We know about that. It was Tuesday.
Okay.
Woodfield?
So we went to talk to a local video game store.
Retro game store.
Yeah, and
Titan Games. TYTON.
yeah, we're talking to them about doing some stuff, and I was with me, Jason, and Matt, the guy who's on the show on occasion. We're riding out there, and we're looking for somewhere to eat, and we're actually going to go to Portillo's, which is like a local Red Hot stand here in Chicago, and then we see a Chick-fil-A. And I've never been there. I think I've said that on the show a few times. There's nothing even close to me where I could have went and checked one out. So we decided to go there, and it was okay. It was okay. Nothing big, not a big deal, but not bad by any stretch. So, and the big game I played this week to wrap everything up on my PS4. Matt was nice enough to lend me his copy of Infamous Second Son. So I started that. I'm like 2-3 hours in, but I think that's a decent chunk because my save file already says I'm 12% done. And I feel like I'm really taking my time too. So I don't anticipate this being longer than a 10 or 11, 12-hour game, something in that vicinity. So I should have it knocked out.
Finish it up this coming week.
Problem is I don't have too much time in the game.
Yeah.
So mostly I get home, it's like I'm an hour away from going to bed, and I just watch a little Netflix and pass out. But yeah.
I forgot I was going to bring the Lego City.
Thanks.
I will bring it next week. I want you to play that.
Oh, I'll play that shit. So yeah.
Sweet. And well, since Mark's not here, Tony's going to take over the duties.
News!
Dirty, sexy, news.
All right. First news story of the week. The Last of Us on the PlayStation 4s got a release date, and my God, were we all off.
Early 2015?
I had holiday season 14.
I think I said September.
September.
June 20th. The Last of Us on the PS4 is coming out. It's coming out with all the DLC, the Left Behind DLC, the multiplayer map packs, all types of good stuff. Plus, it's up-res to run on the PS4, all for 60 bones. We're 2 months away.
We didn't need Andrew Dillon to BS fact check us on that one.
We were way
Sony
off.
did it for us.
Way off. Okay.
I'll probably pick. I mean, I know that we were last year. We were talking about it. I was supposed to play it, didn't get around to it. Considering it's on PS4 this time and it's June and probably going to be a pretty slow month, I'll probably pick.
And you don't have much to play on your PS4 anyway, right?
I have just whatever the first stuff.
Resogun and fucking
Resogun, Mercenary
Killzone.
Kings,
Yeah.
Watch Dogs will be out by then. Next
Yeah,
month.
but Watch Dogs I'm getting on my Xbox One. So.
Fuck on.
Oh
I've
shit! I got Trials this week.
I've actually, I forgot to mention this, I've actually been playing The Last of Us on PS3. I finally resumed my playthrough of it.
Yeah.
I'm not that far in, but maybe 3 hours in. But,
You remember what's going on?
yeah.
When I put games down for months, I'm like, ugh, I better restart.
Well, I've only played, me and my buddy are playing through it simultaneously, together, couch gaming. We've only played 4 sittings, and it's about an hour each. So
You should troll all those other Dungeon people and stream it on Twitch.
I could, but I'm also playing Majora's Mask.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You're forgetting everything. Jeez.
That's not.
It was a big arcade.
We call
game.
him Forgetful Moss. That's what we call him. That's what the kids are calling him.
Yes. Angry Andy's new nickname is Flawless Victory.
All right. Next news story. ZeniMax files a Nuka-Cola trademark. Now, this wouldn't normally be huge news, but to me, this says that all signs are definitely pointing to the much-rumored Fallout 4 game that has been rumored to take place in
Boston.
Boston, because
Boston.
they were caught on the MIT campus taking pictures and scaling the land and doing all types of stuff. So, you don't care?
Not a huge Fallout fan, but I mean, It's
huge.
no surprise that obviously they're working on something, you know, and it would fall in line with them getting their trademarks and everything in order.
Same team.
Makes sense.
Was it the same team that stayed with from 3 to Vegas?
Most of them, yeah.
No, Vegas was done by a spin-off team, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. I can't think of what they're called.
Yeah,
I actually preferred New Vegas over Fallout 3. I thought New Vegas is brilliant. I don't know.
I played them and I just
Not for you.
No. Same thing with it's.
They're an interesting. They're like that's how I want a sandbox game to be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's still too many of those conversation brackets, which is what, like, I know I give Brian and Mark a hard time with Mass Effect, and they're not bad games. It's just too much like of those. Those tend to like steer me away from liking a game. You know, those things where it's like, pick this and then pick next what to say, and then that opens up 4 more things to say, and then pick what you want to say, and you kind of like develop your own story slowly.
I could see it at like integral points in the game, but I mean,
Some of
like
it's okay,
every-
like-
it's like every single conversation.
Yeah. Like sometimes, like with Walking Dead, it works out okay.
Yeah.
With Fallout, that didn't bother me. And I know they're not like insanely different the way they're designed, but Mass Effect just feels like it's so like dependent on what
Yeah.
you say, whereas Fallout really doesn't matter.
You know,
You can lie or steal. You'll lose like ratings or gain ratings whether you're nicer to people or
No.
bad to people.
Nintendo did something cool with that, with talking to people with the new game, that baseball game, the Rusty's baseball. You have to
Oh.
barter with the guy
hmm
to get the game for cheaper.
It's because it's a free to play game.
It's free demos of all the little games, and then you have to buy them. But the whole
You
bartering
bargain.
thing is free. Like that's, but I didn't
You
care
say
about the
what you
baseball
want to pay
thing.
in
Yeah.
real money.
But no, like you have to like give them a donut to make them happy and stuff, and then
You
all of a
bribe
sudden-
them.
Yeah, exactly. So it was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's interesting concept.
It's available on the 2 and 3DS eShop.
Not on the 1DS.
We'll get to that later.
Okay, I'm going to go out of order because I don't have the list up yet, and I'm going to say that one next. So we'll go to number 3 and make that number 4. Nintendo apparently passed on an exclusivity deal with Skylanders.
This was, to be clear, I read this first on like this happened.
Well, the news surfaced now. This is probably a 4-year-old
Yeah,
story.
it was before any Skylanders had come out. Nobody was really anticipating. I think Ubisoft or Activision. In hindsight, I'm sure they're happy that they didn't sign this exclusivity. Because imagine if they were limited to just the 2000.
Well-
despite it doing the best on the Wii.
That's what I was going to say. It actually does the best on Nintendo products.
Yeah, but like, it still does. It still did very well on 360.
Yeah, but I mean, like this was crafted for the Nintendo audience, the
Yeah.
all age audience. So I mean, like when I think Skylanders, I wouldn't pick it up on my 360. I would pick it up on a Nintendo product. Even the handheld version of it is
Yeah.
pretty cool. So it would have made sense.
Do you think it would have exploded the same? Maybe scaled back a little bit.
It'd be scaled back definitely because some people don't have a Wii or got rid of them, but a majority of like the people, the target audience for something like Spyro is the same as the target audience for something like the Wii. So I think it still would have did very well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have another IP, a Nintendo IP.
It's, exactly.
Think of them in Spyro and Smash Brothers.
And I mean,
should still do that.
Nintendo's all about the innovation and new ways to play games. So like that's what I don't understand why they didn't. The scanning and the figures and everything. It's unique.
Yeah.
Granted, Disney Infinity copied the same
Well,
format.
even Nintendo
Yeah.
attempted to some extent with that Pokemon Rumble, but they missed an opportunity.
They're missing the ball. They're missing the ball. on
And
that.
just think, like, okay, if they would have gone with Activision and signed an exclusive deal, maybe they could have handed Pokemon Rumble to them.
Right.
Then, like how they do with Capcom for the Zelda franchise and things
Or
like that.
something,
Yeah,
Or Sega with the Sonic and Mario.
yeah. It baffles me. Like
Yeah.
Activision goes, we have this brand new IP, relaunch of Spyro. We want you guys.
Well, I
to-
wonder what they were asking for money.
Yeah.
It's all finances.
Sure,
Maybe
sure.
they were
But I
saying-
mean, you know, in hindsight, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
It would have been gangbusters for them. Like I said, maybe not Activision. It would have been, but I think it would have been great for Nintendo.
You know-
I bet you what happened is Nintendo wanted more than exclusivity over like release.
Yeah.
They wanted like IP ownership or something, like some partial thing. Because like even when they don't really, like think of games that are made for them, like Wonderful 101 came out. Platinum Games made that.
The
But
Conduit.
Yeah, but
That's the local guys, high voltage.
Yeah, but that IP is
Nintendo owned that.
I believe so.
Okay, I believe Nintendo owns the Wonderful 101's IP.
Yeah.
So
But just think, I mean, then they could have the partnership could have expanded into Smash Brothers. Spyro
Yeah.
could have been in Smash.
that's what would be nice.
You know who's really got to be kicking themselves though? Fucking Insomniac Games, who sold the Spyro IP to Activision, because they're by no means a struggling,
Franchise or company.
yeah, they're fine. They make a lot of money, but I mean, they got to be looking at the billions that they lost out on, and they could have been a force if they would have.
Did they even have the idea of the toy-based game?
No,
So
And I mean, to be
That's
fair,
all
Activision
Activision's.
has rolled the dice a couple of times and failed with these peripheral games like Guitar Hero. They burned that series out.
they made a lot of money on
They
it
did.
though.
They
Tony
put
Hawk.
Tony Hawk with the skateboards. Nobody bought that shit unless it was on sale.
Yeah.
For like $30.
it was $100, I think, for the skateboard. It's expensive.
Yeah, Activision has a lot of misses, but at least they try new things here and there.
Yeah.
Problem is they ream them down your throat when they find
When they
something
find
that
something
works.
that works, yeah.
That's the problem.
So my guess is Nintendo wanted some
Wanted a
internal
little more,
control.
yeah.
They have done exclusive partners with for certain games in the past. Like what comes to mind is they had a deal with Capcom at one point where the Resident Evil series was exclusive to Nintendo for like a period of 3 years.
That's why Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube
Yeah,
first.
the remake 0 and 4.
Yeah.
3. It was a 3 game,
Yeah.
and they re-released 2 and 3, but nobody cared about that.
Those are still pretty rare though.
Yeah.
Namco has an exclusive deal for Mario Kart arcade cabinets.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing that at the. And that makes me think: why is Pac-Man not in Smash Brothers?
Apparently, we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. We're getting to that later, guys.
Get into it later.
More news! Alright, this one, we typically don't do this on this show because we don't cover sales. But this one is so ridiculous, I felt that it needed mentioning. PlayStation, right now, for the Vita and the PS3, they have one of their flash sales that they throw every couple months. I've been a big PlayStation fan for a long time. I've never seen something like this. This is ridiculous. They have over 30 titles. I think it's
Don't start yet because they're going to time you.
I think it's 33 or 34 of them on sale for 99 cents. And given some of them are cheaper $5 and $10 titles, some of these are serious games that are like $20 on the store, on sale for $1. I myself this week, that's why I said I was going to talk about it later because it was a news story. I bought 9 for like $8.91 because they're not taxed on the PlayStation Store. 9 games for under $9. Serious games, you know what I mean?
What we're going to do is Tony's going to read off the list. And we're going to see how quickly he can read the list.
I'm gonna give thumbs up if I heard of it.
You got to be quick on it, okay? So Tony, don't read it ahead of time. Tell me when you're ready to go.
Your
Well-
time again? I'm giving thumbs up.
Okay.
Ready? And go.
Telltale's Back to the Future, the full game, Blast Factor, Braid, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, Crash Commando, Crash Team Racing, Echo Chrome II, Everyday Shooter on the Vita, Gex, Enter the Gecko, Gotham City Imposters, Jurassic Park, the game from Telltale, Plants vs. Zombies, Red Faction 2, Red Faction Battlegrounds, Retro City Rampage on the Vita, Retro City Rampage on the PS3, Retrograde, Sam and Max the Devil's Playground, Spyro, Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, Stuntman Ignition PS2, Super Stardust HD, Tales from Monkey Island, the complete series, Tokyo Jungle, Urban Freestyle on the Vita, Urban Freestyle on the PS3, When Vikings Attack on the Vita, When Vikings Attack on the PS3, and World Gone Sour.
55 seconds.
Some of these are like $15 and $20 games, so that's like a 90-95% discount. Some of them are $6-7 games, so it's not quite as big, but pretty impressive list for just a random out of the blue that nobody saw coming. This isn't like a
It wasn't advertised.
yeah, because sometimes like Microsoft will do these as well,
Summer
and they
sale.
have they have those things like the big summer indie arcade or whatever, and you expect good deals during that time. This is just like here you go, out of fucking nowhere. So yeah, like I said,
Impressed.
Is this for PlayStation Plus members?
no, everybody.
Everybody. Wow.
I myself picked up Back to the Future.
Pick up Crash.
I already owned them. I paid the $6 or $7 for them. I picked up Everyday Shooter. I picked up Jurassic Park, which I played on the Xbox, and it was a broken game, but it's worthy of a second playthrough
For a buck.
for $1. I picked up both the Red Factions because I was a big series fan of those on the PS2 when they came to the modern day era.
Who
They're
picked
kind of
up Red
shitty.
Faction from THQ? That was a THQ fraction.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You know, I was just thinking, you said there's about 35 games. You could buy every game on flash sale, even if you hadn't heard of all of them, for half the price of a brand new title.
That's what I'm getting at. This
That's
is
insane.
ridiculous. I already had a bunch of these, like Retro City and like Gotham City and Positive stuff. I picked up all of Sam and Max. I already had all the Spyros. I picked up Super Stardust HD because I played Delta on my Vita, and it's one of the best Vita games out.
Crash and Spyro, are those identical to their PS1 releases?
They are PS1 classics.
Got it.
But they're playable on the Vita too, which gives you a double. They're playable on the PS3 or the Vita.
Spyro hasn't aged well, though.
No.
Crash is still okay.
Clash is cool, yeah. And Tokyo Jungle I picked up, and I picked up Tales from Monkey Island.
Nice.
So I think that's the 9 that I picked up. I might have missed something in there. I picked up 9 games, so pretty crazy.
Great.
More news. So I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago we covered how Bungie had let Martin Odwell, what's his name?
I don't remember now.
Martin Odwell, I think, essentially the composer from all of Halo for the music. They let him go, a week or 2 ago. Bungie came out and officially announced that they're still on track for a 2014 release, so you shouldn't
Destiny?
worry. And his music will still be in the game. So he was probably done composing. He had written all the music, and they're like, why keep you on the payroll?
Yep.
I think that's what happened.
What else does a music guy do after the music is done composing?
Maybe DLC and stuff, but maybe the guy's asking for way too much money for what he's doing now because he's been there for fucking ever, dude. Since 2001 when he started Halo. He's been employed there a long time, 13, 14 years with you would assume yearly raises, even if they're slightly, just small increments. It's got to be a lot of money just for music. So, and if he already wrote it, and I know Destiny's on like some 2 or 3 year plan with the way that they're incorporating that game because it's not a normal game.
No, 6-year plan. I believe it's a 6-year plan.
Okay.
Major releases every 2 years with major DLCs every year.
Yeah.
I believe that's what it is.
So maybe he wrote everything already, and they're just like, we're not doing anything for 6 years. Why keep him on the payroll for 6 years? We have
I
all the
doubt
music."
he wrote 6 years worth of music. Maybe, I don't know.
James A. Johnston, which is the composer for WWE, has over like 9,000 songs that he hasn't released, including he does every single rest. That's all he does. He sits there day in and day out, writes music. So I mean, it's within the realm of possibility that he did do 6 years worth of music. I mean, especially
You got to figure they reuse a lot too.
They
Like
reuse-
they'll have that theme that plays whenever you're.
Or he could have wrote a song, a piece in 2002 that they're just now using in Destiny.
Yeah.
Maybe they passed it from Halo. He
Yeah.
went back in, redid it, cleaned it up.
Could be. Or they just got sick of his bullshit.
Yeah.
Something could have happened that
Maybe
we
he
don't
was
know
an
about.
asshole.
Cutting costs. You. Gone.
Bitch. Then they pee on him on his way out.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, take that.
Throw mud at him.
Yeah, bitch. More news! Number 1 news story for the week. This is like a multi-parter, so I'll read it all off and we'll discuss after. Titanfall and Second Son are the 2 best-selling games in March. Titanfall did outsell Second Son, but on the flip side, actual hardware-wise, the PS4 still managed to outsell the Xbox One, even though Xbox One got its biggest heavy hitter since it launched in Titanfall, released this month. From Microsoft, we have 5 million shipped, not sold, shipped, which means there's probably 500,000 to 1 million of these units sitting on store shelves. And PlayStation has sold 7 million. So,
Yep. First comment on the first thing about Titanfall and Infamous. This is expanding on what I said last week. The other big release this month was Dark Souls 2.
yes.
And going back what I was talking about, that was on the PS3 and 360. So, a market of what 160 million
Plus 165, closer to, I bet.
Okay, and and then Infamous is targeting 7 million, and Titanfall is targeting 5 million plus the 360. But
Well-
that's nowhere in the picture.
Well, I know for a fact, because Sony hasn't released the numbers since, the first week, Infamous sold 1 million units. I made a comment on it, how it already almost caught Infamous Second Son. Or
Or Infamous 2.
And
Infamous 2, excuse me.
I believe Titanfall for the 360 slipped into April for its release. I can check.
Oh, for the 360 version? Okay. Well, then that's even more impressive then.
Hmm.
But, like, yeah, poor Dark Souls.
I think it did well enough to merit whatever they're trying to do. That's a really niche game. Like,
Yeah.
that's not for everybody. That shit puts hair on your chest, those games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They're long, they're hard, they're fucking scary games, man. Scary games.
Can you explain that concept?
What?
The game puts hair on your chest.
Yeah, it makes a man out of you, man. It's an expression. It's like, you
Makes a
know,
man out of
rough shots of whiskey, pure scary
you.
whiskey.
What does it
That
mean
shit-
to be a man?
That shit'll put hair on your chest. What does it mean to be a man?
I don't like that saying. I think it's
Sexist.
no, it's just outdated.
Titanfall on 360 was postponed until April 8th.
Okay.
So that'll be on the April.
Yeah, so that's
Numbers.
just counting the Xbox One.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, this is something I wanted to touch on. In Xbox's defense, because I've been bashing them pretty heavily since the Xbox One came out. I know the 5 million shipped is a drastic fall off from the PS4 7 million sold. But when you put it into perspective across all consoles, the PS4 is off to the best start ever, followed by the original Wii, followed by the Xbox One. The Xbox One is actually the third best-selling console right now of all time out of the gate.
Wow.
So,
I didn't
it-
realize PS4 was the head of the Wii.
well, we're still only 6 months in. The Wii was crazy for a full year.
I think.
So we'll see. We'll see. You know what I mean?
I think that was because there was more of a surprise with the Wii.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't have
Nintendo
enough.
didn't
And
have
Nintendo's
enough.
really good at creating artificial demand by like just shorting enough.
I don't think they were shorting then though. They just didn't. They
They
didn't have
enough,
the
yeah.
manufacturing. I think Sony was smart about this. They foresaw the hype.
So as bad as the Xbox One looks in comparison to the PS4, it's actually doing better than the
Yeah.
360 did, than the PS3 did, which both went on to sell 80 plus million units. Handhelds, the NES, the SNES, the Genesis, it's doing better than all of them. So the Xbox One is in a very good spot. It just looks bad because it's being compared to
Yeah.
the strongest start ever.
This just goes to show the power of this current.
If you're not
generation.
first, you're last.
Yeah, it's true.
My God.
And us here on Horror Compatible, I have to give us some credit for Titanfall success. Because that's one of the best.
I don't think they would have sold nearly as much had we not
We
done the extensive coverage
done it
that we had done.
Extensive.
We had, well, wait, really quick. We had a beta review, we had a launch event, we had a retail review, and then we had a tips and tricks release. All for Titanfall.
You take out just even one of those videos, and Titanfall sales declined drastically.
I'm just
They might
saying.
have lost a sale
Hey,
or two.
it may have been single digits, but I feel that we influenced people to purchase
We
Titanfall.
we contributed.
Both of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
that's
good.
our Zelda.
David Letterman!
Oh.
Keep the Letterman alive!
Oh God.
All right. Let's search it. It's not time for anything yet until I get the email pulled up. Well then, and see if you guys can get it right to leave me the pause to cut in the song.
Absolutely not.
Well then, I guess.
Is it time for?
I guess it's time for.
Alright. Oh god. Is it time for
I thought it's. Is it time for?
I'd say it however the hell I want.
Is it time for?
That's how you sound on that one. It's great.
Is it time? I didn't know
Is it
that.
time for? Oh God, is it time for?
I can't.
I'm the one that says, "Oh God."
Yeah, I know.
And he says,
Is it time for?
Oh shit.
It's time for.
We're gonna start off with Lykios.
All right, what's up, sir?
He connected with me on Gamers Gather.
Did he?
Yeah.
I
I think he did.
I'm friends with. Yeah, he connected with me too. I'm friends with like 7 people now.
Popular.
This is not
You and
the
your
right
7
one.
friends.
Apparently that wasn't the proper one.
Me, Jason, and who? Like yours, probably.
I think no, John.
You know what?
Was
I
it?
don't know why, but Lykios' email is showing up blank.
My word.
Way to ruin the whole show.
Yeah.
Like,
Lykios, resend me your email. We'll answer them on next week's show. So we're going to jump into... Andrew Dillon commented on our part 2 of last week, which
did he
was
now?
called Super Smash Bros.
Oh yeah.
In honor of Adam because he could never get the name right. He would always call it, instead of Super Smash Brothers, he called it Super Smash Bros.
Nice. Just combining games.
Mm-hmm. So let me read off this 7-page
That's why I asked.
story that he wrote. He said that how do you pronounce this guy's name? The guy who's producing Smash.
Sakuria, I think, right?
Probably.
Okay.
Bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
He said that he wants the Wii U version to be the superior version. Everyone wants to play it on the Wii U, as the 3DS version is stripped of everything except the roster. Yes, they are completely different games, but the 3DS version is to hold people over until the better version comes out. He also said if there are any problems with the 3DS version, or any things out of balance, he could fix them in the Wii U version to perfect it and just release an update for the 3DS. The 3DS version is basically a bad port of the Wii U and a test. I don't agree with that.
So he's saying that it's a glorified beta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with the logic that it was built for the Wii U and then ported to the 3DS. I don't
Yes.
think that's true.
No, I don't either. You better back it up, Andrew, because now you got Moss questioning you. Moss will crush you like bug.
Like bug in Soviet Russia, we crash onto a dealer.
Um,
I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept. We won't know for sure because we're not inside of Nintendo, but it's an interesting idea.
I think that thought comes from the fact that, Smash Brothers, Melee, and Brawl, console, handheld, like, they're like, it's the odd one out.
he said the hardcore Smash fans are still waiting for the Wii U version,
That I agree
as
with.
they
Same
can see
concept.
that the Wii U version is the real deal.
That I agree with completely.
I don't understand this real deal business. This goes back to, like, I'm going to turn this to Zelda for a second.
Sure.
A lot of times people talk about the Zelda series and they'll be like, and they think sometimes like, oh, there's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and then the handhelds. Like, just the major 3D console games, and then everything else is somehow secondary.
Yeah, which is not true at all.
I reject that premise completely.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Yes. Because I'm a believer that sometimes the handheld or older console games are better than some of the, and I don't think it matters whether it's a console game or a handheld game to be which one's the better version, definitive version, or I forgot the term he used.
Real deal.
The real deal.
In terms of Zelda, I'm of the belief like if I had been born later, because I like some of the newer ones, but I think the older ones are better. And I don't know if I would have been a huge fan. Like, say Skyward Sword was my first experience in Zelda. They would have lost a fan. You know what I mean? But I have 10 games that predated it that say otherwise. That
Yeah.
you know that it is a really good series. So I let the one slide. I'm just like, this was not for me.
Is Twilight you like Twilight Princess?
It was okay.
Or Wind Waker or whatever. Are they any more of a real game than A Link Between Worlds?
No, that I know what you mean by. I'm just saying like.
Well, here's bringing it back to Smash. Another example is the Mario games. The new Super Mario Brothers.
Right. Yeah.
The handheld version isn't any less of a Mario than the console version.
Some of them are actually better.
Exactly. So
Like,
I mean,
like 3D Land.
in
is
my
one-
opinion,
one
I
of the-
see Nintendo taking one of their key franchises and widening their audience, just like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You know, that's no different. I think just because they're coming out in the same year and because they have some form of connectivity doesn't make one less than the other.
Yeah.
You know, until we get the physical copies of
Except
the games in our hands.
aesthetically, I think the Wii U is gonna smash.
Sure,
with 3D.
obviously, you know, they even went
You don't think
with
so?
they went
No,
with
I-
a different art style for the handheld to compensate for that a little bit. They
The
made
shadows.
Them, they made them a little bit more, you know, cell shaded with a little, So,
I sense a lot of bitterness from that comment, Andrew.
Yeah.
Because the 3DS at best is like around PSP graphics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Wii U looks a little bit better than the 360, so I think there's going to be a major discrepancy.
Sure,
in the way
sure.
that they appear.
but you know, as we've stated in the past, and I mean, we're not the definitive be all end all, but we are. Graphics don't always make the game though
No.
either. So it's about an even balance of everything.
Just look at Limbo. It was one of the best games of 2 years ago, and that shit was in black and white.
Walking Dead won Game of the Year, and look how crappy that thing looked and played.
Yeah.
This is just this logic. I think is just what people are used to.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine.
Comfort zones.
Let me give you a theoretical example here. Imagine Pokemon X and Y were Wii U exclusives, but it was virtually the same type of game. Nothing really different. People would be all up in arms and be like, "What the hell is this?" Like, they don't want this because they'd be like, "The last 37 Pokemon games were on handheld. Why is the 38th one not on handheld?"
Or if they
Exactly
did, or if
what
they
they
did X on handheld and Y on console, it's the same game.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
He says
Interesting concept.
the fighters are identical for both games. To clarify.
I just proved his point though, didn't I?
You kind of did. I don't want to get at you. I'm like, you're kind of feeding into it.
Yeah.
He said the stages.
See, he's onto something. I'm telling you.
The stages are very important in the game, going along with what Masas has said. And the platforms are there to save you, the walls and the hazards. Along with that, something big that came out of the stream is that all stages will now have a final destination form, so that you can get a change of music and scenery, but it's still a single flat platform with no hazards, platforms, or walls.
That's like the core of just
He's going to get to that in a minute here.
He wrote a book.
for fun or for glory.
Yes. The online update is huge too, as there are two modes, for fun and for glory.
The best name, by the way.
This is huge for fun is for casuals who want items on all maps and only count wins, whereas for glory is basically ranked where there's no items, only final destination maps, and counts wins and losses. This is great to separate the hardcore from the casuals.
Some people have made memes for fun and for douchebags.
Yeah. Now, here's where I don't agree with you, Andrew. I like that there's a difference, but I think there should be a middle ground too. There should be a segue from one to the other. For people that are trying to transition from casual to
You don't want to
hardcore.
segment it too much. It's confusing.
This is segmenting it horribly.
Two?
Yeah.
For fun, for glory?
No, two is
Pretty self-explanatory.
standard.
Going with what I want.
Oh, selfish. Selfish.
We're going to talk about the characters now.
Okay.
They show a lot of moves, updates, balances. They announced that Sheik and Zero Suit Samus and Charizard are their own characters, which we covered. The reason they did that is basically to balance it out. So the 2 or 3 characters that would transform back and forth, people didn't have to. They didn't have an advantage anymore being able to switch from Zelda to Sheik. You wouldn't have to learn to counter 2 different types of players.
Yeah.
Which I guess I get. And he said, I said that Zelda and Peach were a clone. I said they were similar. Come on now, Andrew. You're a BS guy. I said they're similar because they're floaty.
Did you say similar?
Similar, yes.
I bet you didn't.
Yeah,
It'll
I
be
did.
hysterical because Andrew's going to come back in the
I know.
comments and be like, you motherfucker.
I'll just delete it.
You motherfucker.
You hear that, Andrew?
Call him that shit too if he's lying.
Yeah.
A mother.
Be like, you motherfucker.
He does say that, obviously, Peach is, for combos and recovery, Zelda is more power and attack, which I agree with. I mean, that's how they are.
Son of a bitch.
They announced Yoshi is back, and his moves are stronger.
Woohoo!
Greninja was a troll that was made to look like Mewtwo. Troll the hardcore, but he looks awesome. Mewtwo isn't coming back, because Lucario is basically a clone of
It's
Mewtwo.
Lucario.
Whatever. America! Ryu!
Bless you.
Ninja Gaiden.
Masa said that Captain Falcon and Falcon and Jigglypuff are the only ones missing from the original Smash that haven't been announced. Not true. It's Captain Falcon, Ness, and Jigglypuff.
That
and-
has not been announced?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Oh, he'll get announced for
and,
sure. For certain.
Saganaki, whatever dude's name is.
They have to. They just re-released Earthbound. This is a big character.
Yosaki Jimbo said that all the characters from the original Smash will be in all the future Smash games. So Jigglypuff, Falcon, and Ness will be announced soon. I had said that I was hoping that Charizard's final Smash was going to be his Mega Evolution, which they said. I guess there was a video of it. I didn't watch the. Pac-Man has already been hinted at, and it's almost confirmed, as they had a Pac-Man shaped cloud in the Greninja trailer, and they have had Namco assist trophies and items. He will most likely be in. Andrew feels that they'll announce him at E3.
He according to Andrew, he confirmed that all the original cast
Is going to be in every future. I don't know how dated that comment from Orukusaki was.
Is it the guy from the Turtles?
Are we just butchering his name? Did we purposely do that?
Spitting out Japanese.
Did you not hear Yosaki Jimbo?
I did hear that. I didn't know what you were referring to.
Orokusaki.
Konnichiwa.
They also announced that new assist trophies and items in Pokemon, but that's also for the core. He believes he's got everything. He goes, thanks for hearing my opinion. Well, your opinion sucks, Andrew. No.
I don't see why they would. If they're gonna bring back Jigglypuff, they're gonna bring him back. But I think he was
We go with him.
He was a big Pokemon in Gen 1, but like,
Jigglypuff has a boat.
but he's so like obsolete now. Like, nothing is important about him, at all. Nothing.
Well, you don't want to piss off the core.
Like when you look at, like Greninja is a starting Pokemon that evolves. Charizard's a starting Pokemon that evolves.
Charizard's not a starting Pokemon.
Charmander evolves into Charizard, and I don't know who evolves into Greninja, but that's the third evolution of the water Pokemon. Lucario is he's like the first Mega Evolution you get in.
Yeah.
He's kind of important.
There's only two forms for him. There's the little one. I don't remember his name. Three.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like Jigglypuff is like.
Maybe because he's Gen 1. I don't know.
I don't know. They should.
I never liked Jigglypuff.
I'd rather have Mewtwo than Jigglypuff, but I don't know.
I would have rather had the original three choices
Looks so
instead
much
of.
like Kirby.
Yeah. Tony gives no fucks.
Yeah,
Is a single fuck being given?
No. I'm not a huge Smash Brothers fan. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a decently fun game.
I'm not even a fan, but I like arguing about it.
Yeah, I don't. It's like, cool. If this shit comes out, cool. I mean, I'm not one of those hardcore that's gonna get like, oh my god, where's this guy? Why isn't he in the for he was in the earlier games? I don't care.
It's kind of like when they took Scorpion out of Mortal Kombat 3. They had to put him back in an Ultimate.
Yeah.
Pissed everybody off.
That starts.
So Andrew Dillon's got a question for us for the week.
Nice.
He said, who is the biggest pussy in video games?
Glass Joe.
Glass Joe. My God. Oh boy. That's good. That's hard to top.
Dom.
Come on.
Dom. Dom's my choice. It was between Dom and Tingle.
Tingle. How
I
about
hate that guy so much.
Ashley from Resident Evil 4,
Eh,
the president's daughter?
I would have to say Leon Kennedy over.
I was actually just gonna say that. I'm like, if we're talking about Resident Evil 4,
It's definitely Leon Kennedy.
no, it's fucking Chris Redfield.
Don't go there, Tony.
I thought.
I'm
Well,
warning you. I'm
what was
warning
the
you.
question again? Who's the
Who's
biggest
the biggest pussy in video games?
pussy? What defines a pussy?
You know what? It could be Luigi. He's kind of a pushover.
He gets scared walking through mansions.
Yeah.
Mario! Mario!
Yeah. I stick with Glass Joe though,
Last show is a good.
A pussy.
and he came to me like as soon as I heard, I'm like, Glass Joe.
What's the credentials of being a pussy? Easily defeated, weak. How about like Dan from Marvel vs. Capcom 2? I think he was a Street Fighter.
He was
Like,
a Street Fighter
the
character.
joke Street Fighter character.
Yeah, because his Hadouken only goes halfway and stuff.
Yeah, like he's meant to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Or like, what's Mega Man's sister's name?
Roll?
Roll. She's a pussy.
Oh.
She's a robot, but I guess she can still be a pussy. Do robots have
Yes.
I don't know. I
We'll go
really.
with yes.
I thought Dom went out like a bitch.
He's still pretty hardcore. He'd fuck up 90% of video game characters.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, he's
who-
such a badass.
Who would do a reverse fucking competition right now that we did? The okay, who could Glass Joe actually beat?
Tingle.
Roll.
I don't know. Is Dom in the middle of crying about his wife?
Possibly. It's all Glass Joe then.
You know, believe it or not, if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, you can
Actually.
lose to Glass Joe.
Actually,
You ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerds review of Punch Out
No.
with the Power Glove?
Uh-uh.
He tries fighting Glass Joe with the Power Glove and loses.
Really?
He's like, I just lost to Glass Joe.
Did he break the power glove then? What are you looking up?
Glass Joe's record. I can't remember if it's like 1 in 40 or 0 in 40.
He won a game.
Okay.
Glass, that is the greatest picture, by the way.
He's from Paris too. That's awesome.
38 years old, 5'10".
He's lost 99 times and has won once, so he's 1 in 99.
Okay,
So he beat Roll.
In a freak accident. Oh shit! What did I just do? Damn it! Where'd it go? Where'd it go? He's lost 99 times and has won once. In a freak accidental win against Nick Bruiser, states the official Nintendo Magazine Punch-Out programmer.
Nick Bruiser? Is that one of the...
It's one of the other characters in there.
Nick Bruiser lost to Glass Joe? That must
It
have
was
been the
apparently a freak accident.
second. Oh.
I don't know.
You would think he... You know, but he's not a pussy because he has resilience. Come on. Who the hell loses
got-
that many
exactly,
times
I
and
mean,
keeps coming back?
Brock Lesnar lost twice and quit. 3 times? In UFC? Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Dom loses one wife and he turns emo.
Nope.
Spends 10 years looking for this broad.
Not even like he lost 6 or 7
Yeah,
wives.
puts
you know?
around
One
it,
wife.
puts a round in her head and is emo for the entire third game.
Most people would give up when they're 1 in 17.
You know what he does?
He got
He-
to 1 in 99.
Hey,
Determination.
He pulls a Bruce Wayne in Dark Knight Rises, grows a beard, and gets all fucking whiny. I'm gonna grow crops.
How do we know Glass Joe's not 1-0 at some point?
Undefeated before he went on to lose 99 straight.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that first win, and then it was just all down there hill from there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we've
Glass
We've
Joe.
out Glass Joe'd ourselves
Yeah.
today.
Roll. Dan.
Bullshit.
episode 42 on our BS facts list.
You didn't really set that up for the intro to plug in that.
I'll get it.
Bullshit!
Bullshit.
November 2012.
Okay.
Masses is back.
Yes.
Wii U episode.
Predictions.
Oh god, no, what did I say?
Masa says the digital promotion from the Black Wii U will increase digital sales drastically.
That's all perspective. It did increase sales, but it's not hard to when you're selling 10 of something to now sell 15 of something.
You know, this is misleading because Nintendo has purposely withheld retail volumes of some of their games to encourage.
Digital.
Yeah. So like a game like Wonderful 101, didn't you guys only get one copy or something, or 2 copies?
Probably.
So, you know, yeah. They don't even release all their numbers, too, I don't think. So, we don't really know.
Mark.
I don't think that's complete bullshit.
It's a half of bullshit.
Okay,
It's
that's a
nugget.
B.
You
Not
get
a
a nugget.
BS.
And you get a nugget.
Okay.
Mark says he will use the new ESPN streaming premium on the 360. We all know that turned out to be bullshit. Tony says that the PlayStation 4 and the next Xbox will have at least 8 gigs of RAM for games.
Oh, for games.
4 games.
Both have 8 gigs.
Bullshit.
They both have 8 gigs.
Tony says that third-party support will leave the Wii U. Just jiggle it. Wiggle it.
Flappy Tony.
Tony says third-party support will leave the Wii U as soon as the PS4 and 720 Xbox One come out.
It didn't even take that long.
Exactly. So
Didn't
that's
even take
bullshit.
that long. I was
Yeah.
good. I was good. I'm good on that. I'm taking points on that one.
They left in like January. Like EA totally dropped out after Mass Effect.
Mosses
Oh no.
says the next-gen consoles will be released. What do you think, Moss?
2015.
In the spring of
2014.
2014.
Bullshit.
I was wrong.
Mosses says by the end of 2013, a new Super Mario Galaxy will be released.
I award half points.
It's another nugget.
Because,
That's the S of the B.
Because
That's the B. Yeah.
because
It's the
okay,
same
we
team.
don't know if the Galaxy's ever coming out again, but I think if you take the context, it was a 3D or like an open world Mario game as opposed to another
It was
side
the S to
scroller.
the B.
You're trying to soften the blow on this next
No,
one.
that was oh boy.
Mosses says the Wii U will sell 10 million units by the end of 2013. Yes!
Yes! Yes!
Tony
Oh god. This is a terrible episode. What the hell were we doing?
Tony says it will be harder to find a white Wii U in the upcoming year. So during 2013.
Boom!
2014.
Boom! Because they stopped making them. They are harder to find. Boom!
Oh god. Is it time for it?
Mosses said there will be.
Did you not say anything in this episode?
Apparently not.
No,
So
we went
there-
and edited this episode. I remember that.
Said there will be a 3DS Zelda before the Wii U Zelda, and it will be released in 2013.
My God.
Did Wind Waker HD come out first, or did...
Oh, it did. Wind Waker HD did come out.
We'll give you the period after the BS.
But see, even Andrew said this is before A Link Between Worlds was announced. So Andrew is even voting for Moss.
This is before Wind Waker was
Yeah,
also.
so I think, yeah, from the way, like, nobody counts Wind Waker.
Yeah, that's some hardcore BS right there.
Moss
Oh god.
Jeez.
said a new Zelda for Wii U will be released in 2014.
There's potential. I don't know if Nintendo's not very... Hey, it's coming out in 3 months.
Zero chance of that happening.
That Hyrule Warriors
Hyrule
game?
Warriors, yeah, that'll
That's a new Zelda game for the Wii U.
That is not what I meant when I made that statement.
Shh, take the point.
It's not points, it's bullshit.
No, you're going to want to take that point.
Oh,
Because
God.
the next one...
Haas said a new Mario and a new Metroid will be released in the winter of 2013.
So wait, I said a new Mario Galaxy and a new Mario?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well I was saying that's the same game. But I was completely wrong with the Metroid. Because they decided to make damn Tropical Freeze instead. The same team.
Old jokes.
That was some bullshit podcast for me. Well,
Now you're about to
And
swear.
Andrew, the way that it's
I
pronounced,
was literally full of shit.
you're about to hear Tony say in a second. Tony, Do you remember what we used to call the Vita?
The Vitas.
The Vitas. There you go. He said, I don't know how to spell the pronunciation.
10 million.
UPS will lose Tony's. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit.
Joe Montana saying hike and then a delay.
Oh god, the fucking Connect demo. Oh jeez.
Connect not working in the dark.
Yeah, that's still going on to this day.
Bets. Tony bets Activision will make a wrestling game just to piss off Jason.
Just for that sole reason.
Jason bets an Xbox version of Smash Brothers will be made. They will put it in Blinks, Forza Kart, and Master Chief. It could still be coming.
Forza Kart.
You know, Microsoft actually has enough characters.
That's
the
what
problem is only like 4 or 5 of them are recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have a ton of like Xbox exclusive games on Xbox Live that they could pull characters from.
Yeah, put Cameo in.
Nobody's gonna give a shit about them though.
Tony bets he will buy an Ouya.
We still don't know. We still don't know. The verdict's out on that one.
You got every console in the world other than a Ouya.
It's true.
Jason bets he will never buy a PlayStation 4.
Boom! He's got one.
When did we were doing bets? Was this that same episode?
He just puts it together like when we say stuff like that. Like, Moss did an interview this past weekend, and he said that he always likes to put his money where his mouth is.
Oh God, no.
Moss puts money on the fact that the new consoles will release on the same day.
He's ridiculously close. They
Yes.
were a week apart.
Yes.
That is unreal.
Moss puts money on the fact that they will be released the same day.
Historically, they're like a year apart, right?
Yeah.
Like Genesis
The
to
concept
Super.
of that.
and-
That was poor wording. I honestly believe that none of them are going to want to be.
Hey, too bad. You owe us $1. $1.
We will rip that dollar in half.
Because he didn't
and take it to
specify
the
the
wall.
amount of money. $1. We're charging him.
You got
$1.
change for 100? I don't.
I don't deal with denominations under 50.
And $1 for us to split.
He is paid.
$1 for us
Moss
to
is
split.
all paid up.
We will have him sign it and put it on the wall.
1 week, all right, 1 week. None of them.
Mark bets, so if I get shit on for buying a PS4, Mark bets he will buy a 720 before the PS4.
Liar.
Mm-hmm.
Liar.
Liar.
Freaking liar. What's wrong with that kid? Liar.
Remember Walking Dead?
Hey, re-include that in next week's BS
Yeah.
because I want Mark to hear that. And we'll forget to tell him because we're terrible.
This one can still happen. Jason bets.
Oh, yeah, not, of course. This one.
No,
'cause
Jason bets he will return his Wii U for a Kinect.
You have both.
Yeah, but I don't have an original Kinect for my Xbox 360.
Those things are only worth $10.
I'm just saying I can still if I return the Wii U and don't show up with a Kinect, you guys can call BS on me, okay?
You're going to do it just for that.
I might.
I'm going to return the Wii U.
Moss bets that Bayonetta 2 will sell better than Bayonetta 1. And then in brackets he puts why, I have no clue. But that's what Moss wanted to guess.
0 chance. Bayonetta 2 or Bayonetta was multi-plat.
It didn't sell too well.
It
sold
didn't.
Like 1.5 million.
And that's why I'm so confused why people think the Wii U one's going to do well. It didn't have an audience when it was widely available. Now it's on a system with 6.5 million sales.
There's more hype on it now than when it released, I think. When part 1. There's more hype for 2 than 1, even though less people will buy it. That's how Nintendo fans are. They hype stuff and then don't buy it.
We've got some random stuffs now.
I suck this episode.
Tony expresses his hatred towards all PC and gaming.
It's true. Nothing's changed.
Moss said that I am the worst Halo player ever.
You are?
Yeah, but we never played Halo together, so you must have been ripping on me. You get very feisty at the end of this episode.
Wait, didn't you get Halo 4?
Mm-hmm. But we never played together.
I don't know if I've ever played with you.
Why would I make that statement? There had to be some context.
No, you're getting angry. You'll find out.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Andy eats Jason's chocolate salty rum balls. And we started singing the chef song. Kim had made rum balls that day.
Nice.
Okay. Mark is tired and calls James Bond 077. Tony laughs in his face for 5 minutes.
It's awesome.
Tony's head is too fat for Santa's hat.
At GameStop, I remember this because they made us wear these. Excuse me, the video game retailer that I work at. They made us wear these stupid Santa hats and I had to cut it because my manager bought ridiculously small ones, so I had to cut the back seam to stick it over my head.
Tony's store smells like hot sausage, according to Jason. Moses calls Tony a liar just because.
Liar! You freaking liar!
Andrew Dillon, or is it Andrew? Like
Just
Andy or
because.
I don't know which Andrew. I'm assuming he's talking about himself. Andrew and Metro Android both vote for Samus against Nate Drake. Remember, because we left it up to them.
They're both wrong.
Tony says they're both wrong.
I stand by it.
Tony says they're both wrong and that she can't have her suit. It's just like her Zero suit, except you take away the electric whip. You totally slid that one all for you. Basically meaning she can just kick and punch.
Nate Drake would just charm his way around her. He'd lay on
Jason
that
says that
smile.
Sam Jackson should voice act for Ganon in the next Zelda game.
Snake's on a plane, motherfucker.
Everyone wants to do a Zelda blacklist. That kind of turned into getting to know Moss a little bit. It's the first giveaway, and it was a GameStop coupon. It's the first time Jason calls the Wii U the Wii. Moses calls the Wii U the Wii himself. Take that, Moss. Yes.
This episode is legendary.
I want to go back and listen to it.
Moss says that Zombie U is one of the better Wii U games. Jason is the first to suggest putting tape over the Kinect camera.
My God, this is not stopping one after another. I think.
Moss closes out the show by yelling at Tony for being a backstabbing liar and that he should bite his tongue.
About what?
I don't know.
I have to watch this.
I said you were angry.
What episode was this?
42.
I gotta listen to this on the way home.
We should watch this with just video
Live commentary on us watching us.
The tournament notes. The fans vote for General Shepard to move on from 2 weeks before that. Snake versus Mega Man. Mark and Tony and Moses go with Mega Man. Jason is pissed, goes with Snake, and Mega Man wins. Officer Tenpenny versus Ganon. Everyone except Jason says who? To Tenpenny. Again, it was Samuel L. Jackson in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Everyone goes with Ganon. The Fable 2 dog versus HK-47. Everyone goes with HK-47, even though Jason and Tony fight for the dog.
This dog's awesome, dude.
And that will conclude our BS Facts
Jeez.
for the week, which...
Yeah.
was us
Well, this has been episode 115. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place.